to Martin Scorsese for Hugo.
Not only do ordinary people lie at their jobs, but actors do too.
Ever had to lie to get a...
Sometimes to land roles and other times to avoid them.
Lies, lies, and more lies.
Here are 18 actors who lied to secure their roles and went on to nail them.
I believe you, but I don't believe.
Becoming superstars in the process. Keanu Reeves, The Matrix. Keanu clearly understood what a big deal The Matrix would be, so much so that he decided to push through a serious injury to keep his role as Neo. When he met with the Wachowskis, he fell in love with the script and eagerly agreed to the intense training and filming program. But there was one crucial detail he kept to himself. I had a bulging disc, and I had a fractured disc too. I started losing feeling and balance. Despite the pain, Keanu trained for the demanding fight scenes while wearing a neck brace. He later revealed, "My spinal column was being sausage, basically, so I had to have a 2-level fusion on my spine before training. They put a plate in my neck, but I never told anyone because I didn't want to risk losing the role." His dedication didn't stop there. Keanu even endured hours of rehab to prepare for the physically taxing stunts, showing just how committed he was to bringing Neo to life. Paul Mescal, Normal People. Paul Mescal might not be the only person to put off learning to drive, but when the role in Normal People required him to hit the road, he had no choice but to act fast. His agent, determined not to let a minor detail derail Paul's big break, took matters into their own hands. Paul revealed, "My agent was like, 'We are not losing this job over you not being able to drive, so I'll tell production that you can, and in the meantime, you go off and rattle through as many lessons as you can.'" Paul threw himself into intensive driving lessons, juggling his training with preparation for the role of Connell. What makes this even more impressive is how seamlessly he managed to portray a confident, capable driver in the series, with many viewers none the wiser about his last-minute crash course. Interestingly, Paul's improvisation didn't stop at driving. He's also talked about how the intense emotions and raw vulnerability of the role pushed him to his limits. It's no wonder his dedication paid off. Not only did Normal People showcase Paul's talent, but it also catapulted him to international fame, earning him accolades and even a BAFTA nomination. Anne Hathaway. The audition for Brokeback Mountain went incredibly well for Anne. Reflecting on the moment, she said, "I left that room knowing that I had closed it, locked it, and welded it shut. I just knew it was mine." But just before she left, director Ang Lee asked her an important question. "Oh, by the way, can you ride a horse?" Without hesitation, Anne confidently lied and said yes. Her reason? A life lesson from her parents. If you are ever asked if you can do anything, say yes. You can learn anything in 2 weeks if you are motivated enough. Despite never having ridden a horse, she responded, "Oh yeah, I am a really good rider," and immediately got to work learning. Her skills were tested on set in a challenging way. Anne recalled being given a verbal command horse without any warning. "I could not figure out how to make it ride," she said, laughing about the embarrassing moment that followed. In front of 300 rodeo-savvy extras, the horse refused to cooperate and then threw her off. Although the experience was mortifying, Anne's perseverance proved she was just as determined off-screen as she was on it. Eddie Redmayne, Elizabeth Fari. Eddie Redmayne told an unforgettable fib about horseback riding, one that nearly led to disaster. It happened during an audition for the miniseries Elizabeth I. As Eddie was leaving, director Tom Hooper casually asked if he'd ever ridden a horse before. Without missing a beat, Eddie said he had, referring to a brief experience when he was about 4, barely managing to make the horse move. But the truth came galloping out just 3 weeks later. Eddie found himself atop a massive stallion with 14 Lithuanian horses thundering behind him. Panic set in as he thought, "Do I admit I can't ride?" Too embarrassed to confess, he held on tight as Hooper called, "Action!" Eddie gently nudged the horse, and it bolted at what felt like 100 miles an hour. Clinging on for dear life, he finally heard, "Cut!" Hooper stormed over, yelling, "You're a fucking liar." Eddie believes Hooper got his revenge years later while filming Les Miserables. On the first day of rehearsals, Hooper announced that Eddie's character, Marius, would need to leap onto a horse while waving a flag. Laughing about it now, Eddie admits, "That was my penance. Payback for that lie all those years ago." Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson knows firsthand how tough the acting industry can be, especially when you're struggling to land roles. During a particularly rough patch in his career, he decided to take matters into his own hands by bending the truth. After being out of work for several years, Pattinson moved to Los Angeles, where he quickly realized he needed to impress casting directors if he wanted to stand out. When I came to Los Angeles, all the casting directors would ask what I'd been doing for the past few years, Pattinson recalled. I'd say, "Oh, I was at RADA. If you've got an English accent, you can get away with it." I'd say I went to Oxford, too. I did it for years. The prestigious institutions, RADA, Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, and Oxford University, have long been associated with elite training, and Pattinson knew the names would carry weight in Hollywood. His strategy worked for a while, helping him secure auditions he might not have otherwise landed. However, as more British actors began flooding the Los Angeles scene, his fibs became harder to maintain. Rather than risk being called out, Pattinson switched tactics. Sadie Sink, Stranger Things. After binge-watching the show before her audition, Sadie knew she couldn't let the opportunity slip by. But when she learned they wanted someone with skateboarding experience, she had to think fast and stretch the truth a little. They asked me if I had skateboarding experience, and I didn't, Sadie admitted. Then they asked, "Do you have any rollerblading experience?" And I said, sure I do," which technically wasn't a lie. I'd rollerbladed before, though probably not in over a year. Her nerves kicked in during the audition when she spotted a pair of rollerblades in the corner of the room. I was doing some scenes, and suddenly I saw them. I thought, "Oh no, they're going to make me rollerblade," she recalled. Luckily, the skates stayed untouched, and her little fib never came to light. She went on to land the role and absolutely nailed it, proving that sometimes a small risk can lead to big rewards. Rachel McAdams, To the Wonder. Rachel McAdams was so determined to land her role in To the Wonder that she decided to hide two important facts: her fear of horses and her allergy to them. Her excitement of working with visionary director Terrence Malick outweighed her hesitation. When Malick asked if she was comfortable working alongside horses, Rachel confidently replied, "I love horses," despite her deep-seated fear. Her resolve was soon put to the test. On her first day of filming, Rachel found herself in the middle of a corral surrounded by 50 untamed horses, none of which had ever been handled by humans. The experience was overwhelming, as she later admitted. "I was terrified, but I didn't want to show it. My eyes were itchy, swollen, and red from the allergies, but I was determined to make it work." To make matters even more challenging, Malick is known for his spontaneous and immersive filmmaking style, often abandoning traditional scripts and encouraging actors to work closely with their environment. For Rachel, this meant confronting her fears head-on, as there was little room for hesitation during the shoot. Despite the challenges, Rachel pushed through, proving her commitment to the craft. Her bravery paid off as her performance in the film stood out, showcasing her ability to overcome personal struggles for the sake of her art. Sometimes a little white lie can lead to career-defining moments. Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth has become one of Hollywood's biggest stars, and few roles are as iconic as his portrayal of Thor in the Marvel franchise. Interestingly, the casting call for the God of Thunder was a rare one in Hollywood. It specifically asked for someone over 6 feet 1 inch. For Chris, standing tall at 6 feet 3 inches, this was a perfect fit. However, being tall hasn't always been an advantage for the actor. In fact, Chris has admitted that his height has sometimes worked against him in auditions. "There are certainly roles I've wanted to go for where I was completely wrong physically," he shared. "I normally lie about my height and say I'm shorter." This revelation is a surprising glimpse into the challenges even A-list actors face in Hollywood, where physical appearance can make or break an audition. For Chris, being honest about his 6'3" frame often led to being disregarded as too tall for certain roles. Fortunately, the role of Thor not only embraced his towering stature, but also catapulted him to international stardom. His physicality and commanding presence made him a perfect match for the God of Thunder, proving that sometimes the traits you're asked to downplay can end up being your greatest strengths. Halle Berry, Bruised. The Oscar-winning actress showed incredible dedication to her craft while portraying a retired MMA fighter making a comeback in the ring. During her intense training for the role, she faced a major setback when a powerful kick to her torso left her with 2 broken ribs. Fearing the injury might delay or even shut down production, she made the bold decision to keep it a secret from the producers. Reflecting on the experience, she shared, "It threatened production, so I made the decision not to tell anyone in case we were shut down. I carried on, and I think the fighter side of my training took over." Despite the pain, she continued performing rigorous fight scenes and completed filming without missing a beat. Her resilience and determination shone through, proving she was as tough as the character she portrayed. It wasn't until the shoot wrapped that she finally confessed the extent of her injury. "I told everyone after we finished, and then I went to the hospital," she admitted. Chloë Moretz, Hugo. Chloë Grace Moretz made a bold move to land her role in Hugo, even if it meant lying to one of Hollywood's biggest legends, Martin Scorsese. She recalled the experience, saying, "The casting director knew I wasn't British, but also knew I was willing to lie, and she liked me. She told me, 'Lie to Marty, it'll work,' and I said, 'Okay.'" Determined to secure the part, Chloë went into the audition fully committed, adopting a convincing British accent. When Scorsese asked where she was from, she confidently claimed to be from Cambridgeshire, adding an elaborate backstory about her parents being horse breeders. The deception worked flawlessly, and she landed the coveted role. Her commitment to the lie didn't end there. Throughout production, she maintained her British accent on and off set, fooling everyone. However, the ruse fell apart when she accidentally slipped into her natural American accent while casually mentioning her hometown of Georgia. Scorsese quickly caught on, but didn't seem to mind. Instead, he joked with her, saying, "Good on ya," acknowledging her dedication to the role. The gamble paid off. Chloe's performance in Hugo received critical acclaim, proving that her willingness to take risks and stretch the truth was worth it. It's a story that perfectly encapsulates the lengths actors go to for their craft. Jodie Comer, Killing Eve. Jodie Comer became a sensation for her role as Villanelle in Killing Eve. But before landing the part, she stretched the truth during her audition, this time about her ability with languages. When asked if she could handle the multiple languages and accents required for the role, Jodie recalled falling back on a common acting tip. "When I auditioned for Killing Eve, they told me about the languages. You're always told that if someone asks if you can ride a horse, you say yes, even if you can't. That's what I did with the languages." Though she wasn't fluent at the time, Jodie's confidence and talent carried her through the audition. Once cast, she worked diligently to perfect the various languages and accents that became a signature element of her character. Her portrayal of Villanelle, a multilingual assassin with a knack for manipulation, captivated audiences and critics alike. The risk clearly paid off. Her performance earned her widespread acclaim, including an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series. Jodie's ability to embody Villanelle's linguistic versatility added layers to the character, making her one of the most memorable anti-heroes on television. Her Little White Lie proved that sometimes audacity and hard work can lead to extraordinary success. Jameela Jamil, The Good Place. When Jameela Jamil made the bold move to Los Angeles, she was determined to pivot her career from TV presenting and radio hosting to acting, even though she had no acting experience. So when she auditioned for what would become her breakout role in The Good Place, she didn't hesitate to bend the truth. "I told the casting director that I had acting experience, which was a lie," Jameela admitted. "I said I'd been on stage, but I was really talking about my school days." The fibbing didn't stop there. When show creator Michael Schur asked if she had any experience with improv comedy, Jameela confidently replied, "I love improv. Did loads of that on the theater in England." In reality, she had never done improv before, but knew she had to sell herself as a seasoned performer to land the role. Her gamble paid off. Jameela not only secured the part of the glamorous and hilariously self-absorbed Tahani Al-Jamil, but also delivered a standout performance that won over fans and critics alike. The role launched her acting career, proving that sometimes taking a leap and a few creative liberties can lead to extraordinary opportunities. Idris Elba, The Wire. Idris Elba landed his iconic role as Stringer Bell in The Wire, thanks, in part, to a little deception orchestrated by the casting director. Before his audition, she gave him one key instruction: "I love you. I gotta bring you into this audition, but you have to promise you won't tell them you're from East London. Following her advice, Idris walked into the audition room, speaking with a flawless American accent. He stuck to it through 3 rounds, successfully convincing the producers. But during the 4th audition, things took an unexpected turn. The producers began asking about his upbringing, and Idris felt compelled to come clean. "My parents told me not to lie. You gotta look someone in the eye and be honest," he later explained. The truth came out, but it didn't cost him the role. The producers were so impressed by his acting and dedication that they gave him the part of Stringer Bell. Idris's performance became one of the defining aspects of The Wire, showcasing his talent and proving that sometimes bending the truth in an audition can lead to career-changing opportunities, so long as the talent backs it up. Josh Brolin, No Country for Old Men. Josh Brolin had just secured his role in No Country for Old Men and the chance to work with the legendary Coen brothers when disaster struck. A serious motorcycle accident left him with a collarbone he described as snapped in half. But instead of risking the role, Josh decided to downplay the injury. "I lied to the Coens and told them it was only a hairline fracture," Josh admitted. He even went as far as coaching his doctor on what to say, risking the doctor's license in the process. Determined to keep the part, Josh soldiered through the pain during filming. It wasn't until about a month into production that the truth came out. Ethan Coen finally confronted him, saying, "What happened to the collarbone? We need to know at this point. You're in the movie now. We can't replace you." Left with no choice, Josh came clean. It snapped. It snapped in half. Luckily by then, it was too late to replace him, and Josh's performance turned out to be a critical part of the film's success. His determination to stay on set, even with such a serious injury, is a testament to his commitment and a little creative truth-stretching that helps cement his place in cinema history. KJ Apa, Riverdale. A Riverdale actor had an unexpected accident while filming an intense scene. The scene required him to repeatedly punch ice, but in the heat of the moment, things went a bit too far. While he wasn't actually punching the ice, he was hitting a foam mat placed on top of it. "I got a little bit too excited," he explained. "It was cold, so I didn't really feel it. It wasn't until 20 minutes later that I realized I broke my hand. I didn't tell anyone." Despite the injury, he chose to stay quiet and kept working, showcasing his dedication to the role. It's a story that highlights how actors sometimes push through the pain to deliver their best performance, even if it comes with a personal cost. Laura Fraser, Breaking Bad. When Laura Fraser auditioned for the role of Lydia in Breaking Bad, she stretched the truth about her German skills. When asked if she spoke the language, she confidently replied, "Absolutely, yeah. I speak some German." In reality, her experience was limited to a bit of German she learned in school at age 12. Once cast, however, the truth hit hard. Her lines, filled with complex corporate jargon in German, proved to be a real challenge. Reflecting on the experience Laura shared, "It was a nightmare. It took me days to learn that little paragraph." Despite the struggle, she managed to pull it off, impressing audiences with her performance. The effort paid off in an unexpected way. She now uses that memorized German dialogue as a party trick to entertain her family. It's a fun reminder of how a little white lie can lead to both on-screen success and a quirky new skill. Liam Hemsworth, The Last Song. When Liam Hemsworth auditioned for The Last Song, he confidently claimed he could play volleyball when asked. A bold move, considering he had no real experience. "Yeah, no problem," he said at the time, hoping to figure it out later. But when the day for volleyball practice arrived, Liam realized just how much skill the sport required. "I was honestly really scared to shoot the volleyball part because it takes a lot of skill, and I didn't have them at all," he admitted. He even suggested to director Julianne Robinson that they might need a double, but finding one his size was no easy task. With practice, Liam started to look convincing, at least while playing against other inexperienced actors. However, things changed when the professionals entered the scene. "We had a day with 300 extras watching us play against professional volleyball players, and they made us look stupid," he said, laughing. Despite the initial nerves and challenges, Liam powered through, showing that a mix of confidence, effort, and a bit of humor can turn a risky fib into an unforgettable performance. Helen Mirren, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. While filming Shazam! Fury of the Gods, legendary actor Helen Mirren broke her finger during a fight scene after miscuing a movement and accidentally hitting a wall. However, instead of speaking up, she chose to keep the injury a secret. Explaining her decision, Helen admitted, "When you're in that stunt world, the stunt people are so brave, and you want to be accepted by them. I'm sucking up to the stunt people." Determined to gain their respect, she powered through the pain, continuing to film without revealing the extent of her injury. Helen's commitment to the role and her desire to be part of the stunt team's camaraderie showcases her dedication and willingness to go above and beyond for her craft, even when it hurts. Mila Kunis, That 70s Show. Mila Kunis pulled off one of the boldest lies in Hollywood history to land her breakout role as Jackie Burkhart on That 70s Show. At just 14 years old, Mila was determined to secure the part, even though the producers had one strict requirement: all actors needed to be at least 18. Undeterred, Mila decided to bend the truth. During her audition, when asked about her age, she didn't outright lie, but cleverly omitted the full truth, stating, "I'll be 18 on my birthday." Technically, it wasn't a lie. She just didn't specify which birthday. Her talent, charm, and confidence won over the casting team, and she was offered the role. It wasn't until later, after production had started, that the truth about her age came out. By then, Mila had already proven herself as the perfect Jackie, and the producers decided to keep her in the show despite her age. Mila's parents supported her decision, ensuring she maintained a strict balance between work and school. The gamble paid off. Mila's performance on That 70s Show made her a household name, showcasing her comedic timing and natural charisma. She remained on the show for all 8 seasons, growing up on screen and using the role as a launchpad for her successful career in both television and film. Her story is a testament to how far determination and a little clever thinking can go in Hollywood. Gabourey Sidibe. Look no further than Gabourey Sidibe and her precious audition story. When Gabourey auditioned for the lead role in the critically acclaimed film Precious, she stretched the truth in a way that changed her life. The casting call specified that they were looking for someone with a certain level of acting experience, so Gabourey fabricated a fake resume to bolster her chances. She added a list of non-existent acting credits, including roles in school plays and community theater productions that never happened. In reality, she had 0 professional acting experience at the time. Her gamble worked. Gabourey's audition blew the casting directors away, and she landed the role of Precious, despite her embellished resume. Her performance was so powerful that it earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, making her one of the most celebrated breakout stars of her time. What's fascinating is that her bold move to fabricate her acting background didn't just win her the role. It opened the door to a successful acting career, with roles in films and TV shows like Empire and American Horror Story. Gabourey's story is a prime example of how taking a major risk, even with a big lie, can lead to extraordinary rewards. George Lazenby, who bluffed his way into becoming James Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service without any prior acting experience. George Lazenby, an Australian model at the time, desperately wanted the role of James Bond after Sean Connery's departure. To impress the producers, he concocted an elaborate lie about his acting background. First, he purchased a Savile Row suit and Rolex watch to look the part. Then he told the producers he had a wealth of acting experience, including working on big European films that didn't actually exist. He even faked an appointment with Bond producer Albert R. Broccoli to get into the audition. To further sell his story, Lazenby convinced the casting directors during a fight scene by performing his own stunts, unintentionally punching a stunt coordinator so hard that he earned their respect. By the time the producers uncovered the truth, that he had 0 acting experience, it was too late. They were already sold on him as the new Bond. Despite mixed reviews for his performance, Lazenby's daring bluff secured him one of the most iconic roles in cinema history, making him the only actor to play James Bond in a single film. His story remains a legendary example of how confidence and a well-crafted lie can open the door to unthinkable opportunities. George Clooney. George Clooney's path to stardom is filled with determination and a bold lie. Early in his career, Clooney was desperate to get his Screen Actors Guild SAG card, a crucial step for any actor seeking serious roles in Hollywood. To land a part, he falsely claimed he had already acted in the movie Cat People, assuming the casting director wouldn't question it. Unfortunately for Clooney, the casting director for this role had also worked on Cat People and instantly caught him in the lie. Rather than dismissing him outright, she saw his potential and decided to give him a break. Instead of holding the deception against him, she helped him get into the union through a different project. This generous gesture became a pivotal moment in Clooney's career. Reflecting on the experience, Clooney often talks about how this lie, while risky, underscored the importance of persistence and seizing opportunities. It also showed how one lucky encounter with a kind industry professional can change everything. Clooney went on to become one of the most recognizable and respected names in Hollywood, but his early hustle, including that infamous Cat People fib, is a reminder of how far he was willing to go to achieve his dreams. Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa's rise to fame included a bold fabrication that helped him land his breakout role in Baywatch, Hawaii. Competing against hundreds of hopefuls for the part, Jason decided he needed to stand out from the crowd. So he told casting directors that he was a top model in Hawaii, boasting that he had modeled for luxury brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, according to Cheat Sheet. In reality, Jason's modeling experience was far more modest. He had won Hawaii's Model of the Year, but the claims of working with high-end fashion houses were entirely made up. The lie worked, though, as it gave him an air of credibility and confidence that helped him secure the role. Momoa's time on Baywatch, Hawaii became a launching pad for his career, eventually leading to bigger roles in Game of Thrones and as Aquaman in the DC Universe. Reflecting on his early years, Jason has since admitted to the embellishment, but it's clear that his audacity and charisma played a huge part in shaping his Hollywood journey. His story shows that sometimes taking a risk and stretching the truth can be just the edge needed to break into the industry, as long as you've got the talent to back it up once you're in.